fallen out of grace. That's part of the course when you live a life as a UFC champion, but sometimes you lose your shiny gold belt before you lose in the actual octagon. That's the story of our main event. Alex Pereira crushing the MMA scene right here, already a decorated kickboxing champion. He faces Jamahal Sweet Dreams Hill. Never lost the belt, but we're going to get a definitive champion right here this weekend. UFC 300, folks. Not only is this probably the most stacked card that we've seen this year, last 2-3 years, probably the most stacked card that we've seen in the company's history, if we're being real about it. So we got a lot to break down here today. Let me go ahead and let me bring in my co-host, the Santa Fe Bomber, the New Mexico native.
You said this is a stacked card, man. I'm saying stacked card of the millennia. Casuals know it, hardcores know all these fighters. It's going to be a very fun weekend. I'm excited to break it down with you, brother.
Well, let's not mince any words. Let's jump straight into the action. But before we do that, of course, take a quick look down below. AJ, I mean, you're storming. You're storming on me right now. I had a pretty sizable lead to start, but we're almost back to a 50-50 split. What's important right here is that this competition that we were doing, let's remind the people, head-to-head competition, it lasts all the way throughout the duration of the calendar year. Brother, it's April. We got a long way to go, but what we care about is those percentage points. I'm currently sitting at 61.9, call it 62. You're right there at 57.14, call it 57. So hot on each other's heels, but AJ, let's get into what actually matters here, and that is the TLDR. So folks, we're bringing up the big screen. You know what time it is. This is your UFC 300 bet sheet across the board. So not got any words. I don't have any words, I guess I should say. Take your screenshot, run to your sportsbook. This is a big time event, man. You guys should be excited for this, but if you're excited for something, this is what it's going to be right here. Consensus picks, AJ, these are the ones that are the big hitters right here. We only got 3, a little bit of contention on this UFC 300 card. The champ, Magnum, Zhang Weili, Armin Sarukian, apologies, put an extra M in there. That's neither here nor there. And then Bo Nickel. We got we're rolling with chalk here. We're rolling with all favorites. As always, AJ, what is the theme for our UFC 300 consensus picks?
Derick, it's chalk, it's favorites, whatever you want to call it. I want to call it consistency right here. All these fighters are at the top of their game, and you might have added an extra M in there because Armin's making some money. Hopefully, we're going to be doing the same with these picks right here.
That's right. So let's move right on along to the prop locks. AJ, I can't put it any other way. You are riding the hottest of hot streaks right now. 4 weeks in a row you have hit. That is what you call a prop lock. Folks, it looks like I'm coming off of a bad week. Technically, I guess I am. Mine got voided, right? The fight never happened, so mine was null and void. I'm going off the loss from a couple weeks ago, but I got a good one for you. You want to lock? Give me Alex Pereira versus Jamahal Hill. Give me over 1.5 rounds. Violent, someone's getting knocked out, but I think it lasts a little bit long. There'll be a slow start. Feel each other out. AJ, talk to the people with your prop lock.
We're both taking the over 1.5s, man. I got Lopez versus Yusuf Zalal right here, man. And Diego Lopez storming on the scene, but he's going to have a handful. I see this fight going, or at least not the distance, but definitely over that 1.5 rounds.
And there's some implications to talk because he starched past Sabatini quick, early, right? But if it doesn't go early, I'm interested to see how that fight plays out. And then finally, folks, the parlay. Rock with me right here. Zhang Weili, Jalen Turner. We're taking their money line, combining them together. It was heavy chalk right there, but we're closing at minus 145. I like that price. I'm willing to throw that on those two cats. AJ, you got a little bit more of an interesting one. Talk to the people.
Interesting one for sure, Derick. I'm going Prohaska with the money line and then throwing the massive favorite, Bo Nickel versus Cody Brundage, under 1.5. People are expecting a steamroll. You throw them both together, plus money on this. You're not going to see plus money on a Bo Nickel fight card, so you better throw them on a parlay.
There we go. And if there's been anything like his recent fights, yeah, we're probably going to hit on that one. So, folks, those are going to be your props, your parlays, the consensus picks, the entire 9. Only thing that's left to do next is talk about what actually matters right here, and that's these big-time fights. So let's get to it.
Here's to another main card breakdown, courtesy of your hosts, Derick G and AJ.
All right, folks, you know the drill. We're breaking down all 5 of the UFC 300 main card fights down in detail, betting perspectives, the whole 9. But before we get into that, I have to give you the friendly reminder. If you are not a subscriber to this program right now, I'm going to urge you. You should definitely be subscribing, especially if you're at this point of the show, because you're here for the goodness. So with all that being said, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. We're here to break down some fights, though. So, AJ, let's jump straight to it. Brother, Pereira, he is a monster right now. This dude is doing something incredible. And if he can pick up a victory against Sweet Dreams Jamahal Hill at 205 pounds, he already beat a former champion. This is going to be the second one. he has to go up as one of the greatest mixed martial arts athletes of all time, right? Best combatants of all time. He has to, right? But that's not what matters. What matters is the fight in front of him. And Jamahal Hill, some will argue, is legitimately the toughest opponent that he has faced to date or that he will face, given that Yuri Prochazka, interesting, unorthodox fighter, Jamahal Hill is in his bag, has all options. He can grapple with you, he can strike with you, and he is a true full-fledged 205er. Not to say that Prochazka isn't, but real danger ahead. What do you think about this matchup? Do you think that Hill is as scary as everyone is making it out to be?
Oh, absolutely as scary as everybody's making Hill out to be, man. He's dangerous in there, and especially when he starts getting in that flow state, right? Popping the jab, looking good, moving and controlling the distance in the fight, man. I like Sweet Dreams Jamahal Hill right there. The thing, my big thought going into this one is whose durability is going to be tested first, Derek. We've seen both fighters have moments where they get lumped up. They're getting knocked around. They're both hittable, but they're both extremely very durable in there. And when they have that grit put against them, they match it, if not exceed the grit right there. That's what I'm curious. I feel like that's going to be the X factor right here is if Jamahal Hill or Alex Pereira can do some damage to the other one, how do they get back? How do they control after that durability's been hit and move on from there? I don't know, man. I think Pereira has a little bit better, but we've seen Jamahal Hill do really good in that department.
Well, that's what's really interesting about this matchup is because when you're talking about durability, this isn't a boxing fight, right? So it's not just chin durability, it's body durability, it's leg durability. And that's what everyone's scared about. They're saying, well, Jamahal Hill, let's not forget, elephant in the room, coming off of an Achilles tear like 9 months ago, miraculously. I mean, I remember back in the day, you got an Achilles tear, your career is done. You're never going to fight again. You're never playing basketball again, whatever the case. But it's a different day and age, technology, medicine, it's advanced, and he's saying he's ready to go. So if Pereira starts chipping away at the calves of Jamahal Hill, very similarly to the way he did against Yuri Prochazka, the game plan is to slow down the boxing. But here's the thing, a tentative start, Jamahal Hill only takes one shot. This is 205 pounds. It's not 185 pounds. Yuri Prochazka, very durable till he shot in for the takedown and got his face elbowed in a million times. It wasn't a one-hitter quitter. But Jamahal Hill opened AJ as a plus 130 dog right here. As you can see, these are the opening odds, right? Minus 165 for Pereira, plus 130 for Jamahal Hill. The line has shifted. Minus 130 for Pereira, plus 110 for Jamahal Hill. It's shrinking. We're getting closer. So when we talk about that durability, what gives first, in your opinion, between these two fighters stylistically? Is it the calves of Jamahal Hill, or can Jamahal Hill go and land a big one on Pereira, rock him early? Izzy was able to do it. I don't see why Jamahal wouldn't be able to.
I don't see why Jamahal isn't able to either, Derek. I'm with you. He has the power, he has the technique, and he has that smoothness that comes in the striking that is able to catch people off guard. But if I think anything's giving first, we know Pereira's gonna be spamming the leg kicks all night long. I think it's gonna be that, man. We've seen many a fighter, right? The mental ability, you're a dog in there, but if your leg doesn't work, you can't fight back. So I'm expecting Jamahal Hill to know that and be checking the calf kicks all night.
You got to hope, either check it or avoid it, right? You have to remember, too, if you're throwing a calf kick, you better set it up, because if you don't, that's your opportunity, that's your window to get caught. But let's jump a little bit more into how this fight plays out. As we just mentioned, one of my prop locks, over 1.5 rounds. I love that. The odds makers love it, too, though. Minus 170 is the number right there. So a lot of people, they're saying this fight doesn't last more than 3 rounds. But what if it does? And who's more favorable early versus late? Because Jamahal Hill is... not arguably, he's more of a full package than Alex Pereira is. He can grapple, he can do the whole 9. Of course, you got Glover Teixeira in the corner of Alex Pereira, but we saw what Jamahal Hill did to Glover, so it wasn't a pretty scene right here. Who's more dangerous early? Who's more dangerous late, AJ?
Initial reaction, man. Pereira is more dangerous up front initially with the power he presents and just kind of I don't want to say stiffness in striking, but Jamahal Hill, man, the longer the fight goes and the more this becomes a dog match, Jamahal Hill really digs deep. And that's one of the things I admire about this kind of fighter. What do you think, though, man? Because that's a really hard question.
I think that Jamahal Hill is by far the more dangerous fighter early, because it's that one hitter quitter, one shot, that's all it takes. As the fight starts getting longer, I actually start thinking it goes pretty even right there. I think Pereira might have even an edge if the fight goes a little bit longer, which is it's kind of weird, right? Because if you're looking at both of these fighters, man, it's all 1 round, 2 rounds. If you look at Jamahal, 5 rounds for the last one, the fight before 4 rounds. But aside from that, against Israel Adesanya, that was the only 5-rounder for Alex Pereira in his last 10. So it's really untested territory for both of these fighters if you're looking at like total numbers, but Jamahal has a little more experience. So with all of that being said right here, man, Is this because all of these fights have so much stake on it, so much name value? Do you feel comfortable with any of these props right here? And if you do, what are you looking at?
I don't feel comfortable, Derek. I was actually pondering that just a little bit ago. The all of them sound nice in like a hypothetical state, right? Like TKO for Alex Paeta, even the TKO for Jamahal Hill. That's why they're so small. But because of the danger both of these fighters present, and I agree with you. I think the over 1.5 is a smart call. If anything, man, I like the money line, whichever way you're betting right here, because to TKO or decision, both make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, there's one prop that I'm kind of favoring just a little bit, and this is because of my belief of who I am picking, but I think that plus 160 Jamahal Hill TKO is very, very juicy. But when you line that up with what his money line is right now at plus 110, I'd rather just take Jamahal Hill clearly across the board. So that's the play for me. Give me Jamahal Hill. Give me the money line at plus 110. That's the current odd right now. AJ, how are you seeing it?
I'm liking Alex Paeta, and actually give me the money line too. I know it's minus money, but I think he's going to pull this one out.
All right, fair play. That is your main event right there. Alex Paeta versus Jamahal Hill. Never lost the belt, but we're going to find out who is truly the undisputed champion.
Sorry for the interruption, folks. We're having some internet issues over here, man. Google Fiber's bailing. I don't know what they're doing. Google, you need to give me a call. But either way, we wanted to give you something for the main card. So make sure you go check out the comment section, check the rest of our picks, go hit the sports book and make yourself some money this week. We'll be back on Monday once we get this internet problem figured out. But we wanted to say thanks for coming in. Thanks for subscribing. You already know the deal. Derek, come on.
Hey, tell a friend to tell a friend. Folks, we let you down on this one. Not really. We got you covered with the picks. AJ said it all best. So tune in to us next week when we got our internet issues resolved. Have fun. UFC 300. It's a spectacle. Take it in, and we'll catch you on the flip side. All right, folks. Until next time. Peace.